Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading. It's a Sunday, a rainy and cold Sunday here in South Africa, and it is the 11th of September. And I would like to take a moment to acknowledge a day, an infamous day in history, in our collective history, and my condolences to people who suffered loss and whose lives were changed. I think the whole world was changed on that day. But anyway, just to acknowledge it, and I know that many people are focused on that event today and not on the events going on in the UK. But anyway, I'm here to do another royal reading. I have the Tarot of Curious Creatures out on the tarot table today. I have actually managed to iron the new tarot cloth, so all good. A Tarot of Curious Creatures, because we saw something rather strange yesterday, just when one might have thought it was safe to take a bouquet of flowers along and leave them there for the Queen. Out of a car popped herself, Meghan Markle, looking rather shabby, looking very short, looking very nervous, fidgeting with her hair, but there she was. Unexpected, rather rude surprise, one might say. It looked like a rude surprise for Catherine too, the new Princess of Wales. So I'm going to be using the Tarot of Curious Creatures. I'm going to do a 7-card reading on the energy around that. Allegedly what happened is that the Harkles had planned their own walkabout. They were going walkabout with a TV crew from one of the US networks or possibly Netflix. So the tale goes, Angela 11 is the source for that, so I'm not going to say allegedly. And King Charles found out, and one would like to think anyway, that Major Johnny Thompson was there telling King Charles what was going on. We have seen some splendid sights of Major Johnny Thompson recently, one of the unexpected perks of recent events in the royal family. But anyway, I'll calm down. So King Charles got on the phone to William and said, sort it. And William did. Our new Prince of Wales sorted it. He seems to be the new, what do they call it in Parliament? The one who cracks the whip, gets all the MPs in line. But anyway, William seems to be keeping discipline now in the royal family. He sorted it out. 45 minutes of argy-bargy with the Harkles. And then they appeared in that car. William driving, the Harkles looking sheepish. Well, Prince Harry looking sheepish. Meghan looking plain terrified. Neil Sean, who was there, said indeed she was terrified, clutching onto Harry for all she was worth. She was even forced into black tights. So somebody read the riot act to her, it looks like. So we're going to look and see. Catherine, of course, icy cold, regal, very sure of herself, and William, very confident, very king-like, the lord of all he surveyed. The Harkles got a pretty cold reception by all accounts. Everybody wanted to see William and Catherine. So it was very clear that the Harkles are not more popular than the Waleses. Let's call them by their new name. The Harkles are on the slippery slope down. But anyway, I'm going to do a 7-card reading. I'm just going to look and see what the situation was, how each individual member of that foursome, not a Fab Four team at all, how they all felt. William, Catherine, Harry and Meghan, what that 45 minutes was about. William laid down the law to them. What did he threaten them with, if anything? And the outcome, are the Harkles going to behave for the remainder of their stay in the UK or not? Are they going to be pushing people out of the way, trying to get to the front of the line? Remember how Harry jumped places at Prince Philip's funeral, his memorial service, disgraceful manoeuvre that he did, and they had to body block the Harkles at the Thanksgiving service at St. Paul's. So they can't be expected, but something happened because they really looked chastened. So that's me rambling. Let's remind you as I place the cards, the 7 cards out on the tarot table, that this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes, or just rumor, allegation, my opinion, speculation. And there is a disclaimer in the box below. Please do your own research, reach your own conclusions. But just for fun, let's see what was going on at Windsor yesterday. I'm so glad I wasn't there. I wouldn't have been able to behave. I must say I admire the British stoicism. Poked and prodded by Meghan. She looked like she actively pinched someone at some stage. She also hung on to flowers that were not for her. She was not behaving well, but the British crowd was impeccable. And so congratulations to all of you. I would not have been able to be so restrained and so polite. It's just as well. I am half a world away. Underlying energy is the 4 of Wands in reverse. That's the broken home. The Fab Four. The tarot is being very literal at the moment, quite spookily so. As I keep saying, we've jumped timelines. We're in another dimension now, and yeah, tarot has become increasingly literal. There's the Fab Four, but they're broken up. They've split. The Beatles, as somebody said, one of the royal reporters, I think it was Robert Jobson, talking to Australian media people, they were saying, oh, you know, perhaps there can be a Fab Four again. He said, hell no. The Beatles have broken up and they're not going to reform anytime now. You know, Yoko Ono has done her thing. So there it is. That's the broken Fab Four. No chance of that ever happening again. Let's see the situation, the heart of the matter. What was going on? Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles, well, it is all about Her Majesty the Queen, and the passing of the Queen and the honouring of the Queen. And that has to be foremost, whatever we might think. And our desire for schadenfreude and perhaps putting the Harkles in stocks and people being able to go and hurl rotten fruit at them and eggs. It very likely was the wish of the Queen that the Harkles be included. As we saw Prince Andrew, he was there at Balmoral, he was out with his daughters and the rest of the family, driven by Prince William to Balmoral Castle, very visibly and conspicuously. They can't be iced out, they are family and this is a family event. So Harry had to be included somehow, and some people are speculating that only Harry was supposed to go, but then a tantrum was thrown in that 45-minute period. She managed to find tights somewhere from Marks and Spencer and a dress, and still with that strapless bra. I wish someone would burn it. But anyway, it is about the Queen's wishes and just acknowledging it and making sure that she is respected and her family is held together for the time being. A lot of people are saying, very clear message went out from King Charles. They are overseas now and don't have titles, and children don't have titles, so they are being iced out. But for the time being, to save face, they are going to be given some form of role in the days to come, as the Queen is honoured and remembered according to her wishes and the wishes of the family. So let's say how the Fab Four no more, how the Fab Four each felt. William, Catherine, Harry and Meghan. William first, how did he feel about this? He looked like the king of the world, but he knew that this was an outrage, justice in reverse. He was behind the scenes very angry about this. They didn't deserve it. It's not fair. After all they have done, particularly Meghan in the recent past, and Harry still with his book, and the Netflix series looming, and all the threats and all the nastiness and all the bullying and all the lies, they don't deserve it. We know, William, we all know. But this is a major card, major arcana. Justice delayed, I'm getting the idea, because often when a card is in the reverse, it is about a delay. The energy is going to come, and Harkles, I would watch your backs, because I don't think that you're safe. Not with William in charge of the discipline and keeping everyone in order. And the whip, that's the word I was looking for. And William is the whip now in the royal family. and he's going to get his revenge on them at some point. He really is. He holds the purse strings now, Duchy of Cornwall. That's probably what the threat is that he holds over them. But we'll see what universe wants to tell us about that in due course. How did Catherine, the new Princess of Wales, feel about it as she was walking around? She looked lovely as ever, but she looked really annoyed. This is the crossroads moment, the Two of Swords, a decision that you don't want to make. Didn't want to do this, did not want to do this, but couldn't figure a way out of it with that Two of Swords. She really, it's a blindfold card. It's tied up in knots card, really, the Two of Swords. You can't see which way to turn. You're at a crossroads and you don't know. You have to make a decision. You don't know what to decide. You really, at some level, need to cut someone out. And we know who she would like to cut out. Very clear. It was very clear in the body language. She was quite intimidating. She kept herself to herself for most of the time. She didn't interact with either of the Harkles. And every now and then she gave Meghan a look that previously we've only seen Sophie Wessex give Meghan. She's had enough, but this is a delayed decision. Two cards that are telling me that the Harkles are gone. They're in good riddance, but it's coming in the future. It's delayed for now. And just bide your time. And I'm sure that they have had many conversations behind the scenes, William and Catherine, about what they are going to do when the time comes. When it is, I don't think only up to them, because it seems King Charles is just as eager to get rid of the Harkles. But this was strategic. This was to shut them down. This was to stop them saying, oh, the royal racists locked us up at Frogmore and wouldn't let us get out and see our adoring crowd. And of course we are more popular than they are, which is why they did it. Everybody's eyes could see the truth of the situation, so they can't lie and they can't bluff their way through this. They're being managed, but it's uncomfortable for her. It's very uncomfortable for Catherine. She wants to be out of this deadlock that she's in at the moment. And for William, it's justice delayed. And I have the dog scratching at the door, so I'm going to just stop this for a little moment and let him in. And I'm back, and it's very cold here today, so that's why doors open and doors closed. Anyway, back to the reading. And the Harkles now. How did Harry feel? Back in the royal fold, very briefly. The Hermit in reverse. Yeah, he's emerged from isolation. That's literally what the Hermit in reverse is. It's another big card, another major arcana. It is, of course, the Prince Harry card. It is the Virgo card. We are in Virgo season. His birthday coming up in the next few days. What a birthday that's going to be. I will do a reading on it. But the Hermit in reverse is also the shadow aspect of the Hermit. Not being wise, not being self-reliant, not finding your own path and your own truth, not being guided by your own inner wisdom. So feeling uncomfortable, feeling out of sorts with himself, feeling like he's taken a wrong turning with the Hermit in reverse. It is coming in from the cold. It is, yes, he's back royaling, the thing that he does best. He was trying to joke around a bit. That got shut down very quickly. It got shut down by William at one stage, and it got shut down by Harry himself. Don't play the joker. Don't go out there and be a buffoon. Don't try and work the crowd. This is not the time, you idiot, for your jokes and your silliness. Grow up. So that's the Hermit in reverse. Having to be mindful, but not being very successful at being mindful, because the Hermit is a very mindful card. It's meditation, it's retreat, it's inner wisdom. In the reverse, lack of inner wisdom, but also just a feeling like a bit of a fool. It almost has a fool energy for me, this card in this reading. It's very interesting that the two cards are sitting like that underneath each other. Very uncomfortable. It was an uncomfortable experience for him, because he couldn't be himself, which would be the Hermit. The Hermit, of course, layers of complexity, because he is the Hermit as the Virgo, but also he has been away, he has been in isolation, he has been shut off from the rest of the royals and from the British public, and now he's back, he's unleashed, but he doesn't really know how to play the situation, how to play his role, because his role has changed so much. He can no longer be the buffoon, he is no longer the popular one. William is the popular one now. William is the one with all the power. And William is the one who will dispense justice in due course. Making me feel a bit chilly. I'm more chilly than I already am. today. We're having load shedding again, by the way. So, just an aside, how did the wife feel? Apparently she was furious that she didn't have time to fetch the crying makeup guy and get the full hair and makeup done, and so not a happy woman by the looks of things, and of course couldn't merch, couldn't get herself more footage for Netflix or whoever else allegedly. Let's throw one of those in here. So how did it go for her? How was she feeling? 10 of Pentacles. Wow, so happy to be back in the money, in the fold with the royals. So happy, terrified, but ka-ching. This is about money. This is about securing her future. This is about thinking. It's her perspective. This is not truth. This is her feeling about the thing. Her truth, let's say. This is about titles for the kids. This is about getting her claws on the Duchy of Cornwall funds. This is about perhaps getting a great big grace and favour home in the UK instead of Frogmore Cottage. There seems to be musical chairs going on. Windsor Castle, the Waleses are going to be moving in there at some stage pretty soon. There is rumour that the Royal Lodge is going begging. She has got her sights on the money, the tiaras, the jewels, the vacant properties, Buckingham Palace perhaps, who knows where she thinks she might land, but all didn't turn out the way she thought it was going to in America. So back she comes, shameless, brazen hussy, as Tom Bauer called her. She is a brazen hussy. It's the last card I would have expected to see. She's very nervous, didn't want to put her foot wrong because there's been a carrot dangled, I would say, rather than a stick, to make her behave like that, even though she did wear a very Wallace Simpson outfit. It's extraordinary how she copies Wallace's outfits. Anyway, what happened in that 45 minutes? What was going on? What universe would like to tell us about that? Dire threats. I take back the carrot thing. Dire threats. The tower. Maximum threat. You can all relax, thinking that William has gone all soft and pathetic, and no, justice is coming, and he's told them the tower is coming for you. The tower is going to be all fall down. No money, no status, no titles, no Councillor of State. I know everything about you, Meghan Markle, and possibly Prince Harry. I know about your alleged financial dealings. I know about your alleged past. I have done my due diligence. MI5, MI6 have told me everything I need to know. Major Johnny Thompson has told me everything I need to know. He sat behind you and he heard every word you said, and I know it all. You think you can threaten me, you think you can write books and say you've kept your diaries and your journals, and you haven't signed NDAs, you think all of that. I can blow your world apart whenever I feel like it. And there has been talk, there's been chatter about this. It's gone round and round that apparently William knows everything. He does have everything he needs to absolutely destroy the Harkles. So that's very reassuring. That's a fabulous card to see there. He really tore strips off them both. It was a very uncomfortable 45 minutes when he laid down the law to them. And of course, this is always in the back of my mind is that cryptic, well, it wasn't cryptic at all. It was very direct post. I think it was on Instagram when Archie was allegedly born. It was at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning from Kensington Palace, as the Cambridges were then saying that Meghan had used a surrogate for Archie. That also could be there in the tower. And of course the royals have the tower where they used to banish wrongdoers, ne'er-do-wells, all kinds of threats in that card. It's the most delightful card to see if you, like me, do enjoy a bit of Schadenfreude from time to time. Is this going to change the Harkle behaviour? How are they going to respond? Are they going to toe the line? Are they going to go rogue again? What's going to happen? Just in the next, up until the actual funeral, which I gather is on the 19th of September. So just over a week away. Are they going to behave? What's going to happen? Four of Cups. Four of Cups is the... It's a hesitancy, a hesitation in the Four of Cups, thinking of what might have been. Even though it's upright, the Four of Cups is a rejection energy. I'm not interested in that. Don't really want it. They could reject whatever offers are come their way and sit quietly. I don't think this is an offer from William. I don't think he's offered them anything tempting. He's threatened them. Very clearly, it doesn't get clearer than the Tower. But other people might come along with quite tempting offers that they have to say no to because of the threat. So it looks like they're going to sit quietly at home with the Four of Cups. You can see her sitting there thinking. She's tempted by something, but she's only half tempted by it with the Four of Cups. She's like, no, I'm going to have to look away from that temptation. I'm going to have to turn it down. I've already drunk those cups there, guzzled them down. And so you're offering me a cocktail here now, but I'm going to say I've already indulged enough, and I'm just going to turn my head away from temptation. That's the energy that's coming off this particular card. I might not have read this card the same way if I'd been using a different tarot deck, but when I thought about this reading, it was very clear to me immediately that this was the deck I needed to use, and this is the outcome. So I think for the time being, the Harkles are contained. For the time being. There is temptation there. Allegedly, Oprah is on her way and might even stage a rival funeral. The mind boggles. I know it's from a wild Twitter account that's more wrong than right. But the thought of it, the fact that that's even in the thought form before the action is horrific. So, yeah, there's temptation. There is temptation for her. For her, I think Harry will toe the line because he's terrified. She wants back in. She wants her 10 pentacles. She needs it because she's got nothing else. That's the reading. And well played, Prince of Wales and King Charles and Major Johnny Thompson. I'm just throwing that in there. I know he had nothing to do with it, but a girl can dream. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.